Welcome everyone. Some of you guys already know, but I'm a positional mid lane coach for Loonfeast Light Side, which plays in the NLC. And that means that we are going to be facing up versus Los Ratones. And it's actually the first match that we play, which is next Wednesday on 20 CET. That's the time that we'll be playing the match. And yeah, this is one of the coaching sessions that I did with my mid laner. This is the mid laner that I'm working with, Harbo. Really, really good player. Very nice guy as well. Did a lot of sessions with him already in the past. And we're going to do a lot more work over this year as well. And since Los Ratones is the first matchup, we're going to be sharing some thoughts on some of the stuff that we look at when it comes to draft, some of the scouting that we do, just bits and pieces, not everything, of course. We also don't want to be leaking out strategies. And also, we're going to be doing a little bit of a review of some of Harbo's games. This review is mainly going to be centered around some mid-game concepts and some Aurora-specific concepts. So let me know what if you guys enjoy stuff like this. I want to make content like this because Los Ratones, of course, is also doing everything and posting it on their socials. So I thought it'd be cool to do it as well. So if you guys enjoy, especially let me know. I can do more of these sessions in the future. If you guys are like, hey, it's too much or it's too much informative or I don't understand it or whatever, I don't like it, feel free to let me know as well. I'm just really curious. Enjoy the video. Let's start with the champion pool, right? Because let's start with your comfort picks. What are like your best picks right now?
I mean, if you just take a look at like my like 3 most played, right? I think to build if you just take a look, I have a lot of games on like Sunder, Salas, Rise, and those are also the ones I have like the best win rates on for sure.
Yep.
So I would say also if you look at like my ranked matches 3, those are the ones I've been playing the most. Those are the ones that I've been like climbing a lot with.
Okay.
So those are for sure like my 3 like most comfort picks that I just kind of rotate like depending on draft, right?
Okay. Very good. And when it comes to comp, do you still feel comfortable enough to play Orianna?
Yeah, I mean it's fine to play Orianna, right? She's like beast at the moment. I feel like the other champions are a bit stronger actually, or maybe it's just like comfort. I'm not too sure.
Okay. And what about Aurora? Do you like her? Do you click with her? Do you discuss her? What are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, I mean she's fine. I think she's like I don't know if it's a champion that really resonates with me. I think it's like a good champion to have just because of its like ability to be flex picked.
Yeah.
In competitive, so it's something I want to just have in my pool. Not necessarily like be the greatest Aurora ever, but just have it in my pool so we can flex pick it, right? I feel like it can be a strong champion.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm a bit unsure about some things on it, right? Like sometimes like runes, I can be a bit unsure. I feel like runes not the hardest thing, but like when to go like Ludens, when to go Malignance, I can't really, I don't really know which one to go, stuff like that.
Okay.
So
I can help you with that.
Yeah, maybe like, yeah. And then maybe, I feel like my laning on Aurora is like okay. She's not the hardest champion to lane with. Like sometimes she can be a bit difficult if you're into like a control mate, so just kind of bullish you. But other than that, she's like pretty. I mean, she's very intuitive, like how to lane and how to trade, right?
Correct.
And then maybe her team fighting can be like that's where you can really like do a whole lot.
The difference.
Yeah, so that can be a bit difficult to like really do a whole lot. I mean, maybe I should play some more games to get like a better overview in team fights because I feel like I'm playing them somewhat poorly.
How many total games do you have on Aurora, do you think?
I don't know. That's just a count, and then a Smurf, maybe some other. I don't know.
Give it a guess.
I don't know, like 14, something like that.
14?
15,
okay.
maybe.
Yeah. 14.
No, 14. Yeah, I don't
have that many. All right, so in that case, right, I've got pushed by management. Let me put it like that. Management has pushed me. They want me to like push Aurora onto you.
I mean, that's fair enough.
They didn't care about anything else. They just wanted me to push Aurora onto you. So we're gonna work on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Aurora is not one that we're gonna then review today, but we're gonna get like to the 40 game mark first on Aurora. So I think that's gonna be a nice little project for you to pick up while you're at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst to review it when you kind of bat it right, because then maybe it'll be easier to pick up.
I
It's
can
not
give you
like,
some tips. That's fine.
yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest chamber to like
Okay.
play. I'd say. I don't know if you agree.
Mm.
I wouldn't say it has like the highest
Her skirmishing
critical
is just really hard.
force. Yeah, that can be the thing.
Yeah, but you'll 100% get yourself through lane,
Yeah.
easily, especially since you're a good laner, right? Okay, so we're gonna start today with like the good thing about Los Ratones is that they upload all of their games towards YouTube. So we're gonna just go through these 10 games, use them as a nice little sample size, and we're gonna take a look at first of all their drafts, how they're exactly drafting, and what Nemesis is actually when he's picking, what he's picking, so we can make some plans for that. Because if we can get you in a strong matchup and we can get mid prio through you, that can be incredibly favorable. So let's start with that, and then afterwards we're gonna take a look at some of his lanes and find out some patterns. And after that, we're gonna do review of your game. Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's start right here. We're just gonna go through it full speed, and feel free if there's something that stands out to you, just mention it instantly. Okay, so the enemies go for early Aurora, Flex. They early lock Ashe. Blinds Azir. What do you think about Azir at the moment? Just in general.
I mean, they buffed him a bit, but I still would say he's like a C/B tier champion. And I
Okay.
think the matchup into Aurora is kind of bad, to be honest. I think it's like a bad angle to take it here, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Okay. Can you elaborate? Why do you think it's tough?
I mean, I just think like if you just think inside of the lane, like how you trade into Aurora, I feel like it's kind of difficult because he just kind of goes on you. You put down your soldier, and then she just QEs, and then she's out of like your W range, and then she just like you cannot really extend trades with her because when you get into range of her, then she can hit her combo. So
Right.
in that sense, I think the lane is a bit difficult. Maybe he makes it work. I'm not sure. And then like Aspia likes to be able to like push enemy champions away from him, but that's kind of hard with Aurora because her ult is like the thing that's on top of you. So you can't really like disengage against that. So I think Aspia is maybe not the greatest, and then Aurora could also be flexed, which was the game since you could see that they lane swapped to like get that lane. I think a better pick. I mean, I'm not. Could be something that could be flexed on Aurora. I don't know if you were to like upload a video, it's like this session. When would it be? I don't want to like completely leak our strategy, right?
Just leak it. It's
okay.
fine.
I mean, something you could do something like Galio, right? And then you could just flex the top, and then you could just match it into Aurora, whatever. I feel like it's a good pick into Aurora because you get like tank or poke, and then you build MR. You could flex it into top mid, and it kind of works well into it because Aurora wants to like engage with the ult or like follow up, and then Galio just ults whoever she goes on. So I think Galio would be a better pick. I also think Faust plays the top.
So let's continue with a little bit what they're actually doing, right? Because one of the things we're constantly seeing is that the enemies are constantly banning Victor. I know that Nemesis is a big Victor player at the moment. In this case, the enemies picked Ari, countered with Talia. That's very interesting. They also did a double lane swap at the beginning, where if you play against the melee mid, they'll do these shenanigans where they put two people mid. At least they can do that. So that's something we got to keep in mind. Right here, they ban Aurora. No Victor ban, and they first pick Victor. That's something that we can probably expect as well. What do you think about Victor?
I mean, Victor is for sure strong at the moment. I think most Victor players I've seen are not actually that good at exploiting him. Like, he can be good, he can also be flexed. And then the question is gonna just, I mean, he is exploitable, right? But you have to go something like, you see in this game, enemy picks like a Kali. You have to play something like, actually the lanes of this game, that's kind of smart. Because then, it's actually pretty smart. Or I guess it doesn't mean, yeah. It kind of makes sense because Victor's laning phase is like his strong, like like a really lane bully, right? I mean, not as much when you're playing like first strike Victor. I feel like I would not play first strike Victor. I feel like you're kind of just losing out on like Victor's strength. But I mean, I guess it's just Nemesis scaling setup. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. You have to play something like Akali or Yone or like I think one of these like melee skirmishers.
Yeah.
They're kind of good into them because you can't really deal with them. And then you can pick like a jungler. It could be Xingqiao. I don't think Xingqiao's the greatest into Victor
No.
because Victor can kind of deal with it because Xingqiao just kind of doesn't get on top of like Victor very easily, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do something like, I think Sejuani could be a champion. That you just lock with like a melee mid, and then you can kind of deal with Victor very easily then.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can try and outrange him, or you can just like handshake a control mid matchup. But I feel like that's not optimal because Victor is like a stronger champion.
Yeah.
Than most control mages.
What did we discuss a potential Victor ban?
Yeah, I think Victor's probably getting banned on the red side, and then we're looking to
Okay.
take it on blue.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. All
Actually,
right.
I
So
think that's kind of interesting, right? Because he often gives prior, right? I
yeah,
think
he
they kind
gives
of
a lot of
play around
prio.
that. I think he often gives prior, so they kind of play around the fact that what's it called? What's it called? They kind of play around the fact that he gets pushed in. So I think Velia looks mid a lot. So maybe if we were to play against him, it would be kind
Mm-hmm.
of important that my jungler would be hovering me, like maybe 3 camp into hover into like doing his camps again, right?
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. I think we could definitely do something with that.
Check,
Even look
quickly,
on invade,
quickly
right?
check your DMs, by the way. Let's take a look. So this, they just first pick Galio. Okay. Pretty boring. Let's go to the next. Did you check DMs? Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No
Start
problem.
off.
Okay, so in this case, the enemies lock Victor here. And it seems like Nemesis counters Syndra in it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be an interesting one to watch.
I think it's a bit of a fake counter to be honest, but
It's not a real counter. It's Victor favorite.
yeah, because like I think the strength of like Syndra in lane is that she can like disengage like people straight, right? But you can't do that versus Victor because he just outranges you.
Yeah.
So especially when going to the setup, like you can never like even hope to outtrade him then.
If you pick Syndra, what would Nemesis pick? And Victor's ban.
I think Silas strong into Syndra, so you could probably pick that. Otherwise, he could maybe like be fine just picking Yone or Akali, some shit like that.
Does he play that?
Yeah,
I don't think he does. Does he?
I've seen him play Akali. I've seen him play Yone. Yeah,
And
seen him play the
Silas?
matchup. Yeah, Silas as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
He played a lot with the Electrocute setup. I think he plays it with Kong as well.
I'm curious to see if we can find an example of this. Because he did look Galio last scrim. Galio seems a little bit more up his alley. I think with Silas, you gotta...
Yeah, I mean you could go Galio into Syndra as well, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Um, could
He's
even
always
play.
picking on 3, by the way.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Aurora is also fine. I mean, yeah. I guess they kind of just want to save like support counter pick and top counter pick makes sense, right? And I mean, it's not like he's going to. I mean, what are his opponents like realistically gonna pick into A, right? I mean, if he doesn't play for prior anyway, right, then his champion is just gonna be he's just gonna negate his losses and just scale the game.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Let's take a look here. So, right here they look Ori. What does he look?
Here
Ari.
could make sense to pick Ari. I guess maybe they're doing. Do you think they're doing like a fearless?
Yeah, they might do Fearless, yeah. They're probably doing Fearless.
Because otherwise, like it's a really good Syndra angle. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would pick Ari, but right because they have like Saya and like Rill and Oriana is also a bit tough for Ari in lane, I think.
I think it's Fearless. They tried to pick Aurora there. I think you can also rock an Aurora.
I think the league format is fearless, right? I don't know if it's only like players, but I think like groups as well might be. I don't know if it's like BO something. It might be like BO2, BO3s. I don't know.
BO5. No, groups. What we're playing on Wednesday is going to be BO1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's BO1. No fearless. And then if we go through groups, then we got BO5 fearless.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so it kind of makes sense to like practice fearless, right?
Yeah.
I suppose that's why they're doing it.
Playing to win here, huh?
Yeah. And then they're locking Lux Morgana. Pro enemy compass.
FF.
Oh, I remember this game. Wait, actually,
You
I
watched
think
this
they
one?
won this game. Yeah, I don't know if they won or lost this one, but it was very like I think actually Nemesis and Baus both had like 10 plus deaths this game. And Baus was like saying, "Yeah, I'm out of this fight," and then he was just going to proxy waves and dying.
We gotta
Like his 12 deaths,
abuse
Baus'
Baus.
13 deaths.
Yeah, I think his strength is really like the skirmishing, right? And the fact he's so
He's
so
a
poised.
very good he's a very reliable like teamfight carry, right?
He's really good. I watched some of his stuff today, and his positioning on Zinrad was like very, very, very good, very strong. He's carrying these fights really hard.
I mean, I definitely think, if you're like a good like Syndra player, like knowing how to position and space and like your ability uses, like Syndra can be really like strong fights, especially in team fights. So,
Correct.
I mean, I also think that's why he likes it a lot, right? Because the champion, you just kind of, at least especially with the setup he plays, right? You just kind of chill in lane, and then you hit a really hard like one item spike, and then your like mid to late game is really strong. So I think it fits his champion like his playstyle a lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think I also play a lot of Syndra, right? So I should know like what her weaknesses are. I think that's fine for me at least. But it kind of goes like the same way for him, right? If he sees me playing in it.
What if we pick Syndra and ban Victor? What is he gonna do?
I mean, in my opinion, first off, he's probably just gonna lock like one of those like melee champions to counter her, right? But in my opinion, like Syndra is not so much countered by like mid lane champion as she's countered by like other stuff, right? Like if enemy has like an abyss top, that's really annoying. If they have like a Vi jungle, Nocturne, Jarvan, like that really fucks her. Or if they have like a, I don't know. I don't know how much I wanna say about Rough Red, but I mean, like, things like get on top of her. I would say in general, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of annoying for Syndra. So not as much lane, right?
So one thing he's doing, he is definitely picking Azir into Aurora every once in a while. So that's something we got to keep in mind.
Yeah, I don't know why he does that, to be completely honest. I just want to see him play the matchup actually, because maybe I'm clueless. Because I played this matchup and I thought it was like really tough actually to like play as Azir. You can see like look at how much space he's giving in lane here.
Yeah, because even if he hits Aurora, it doesn't even matter because Aurora takes no damage.
Just high base, like Sheeman when like look, like he has to stand this far back in lane and he just still gets poked out. I mean, I don't see how this lane is favorable. But I mean, maybe he's just hoping to do more team fights in the side. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't just go like a control mage, like that can actually punish, because Steer kind of punish Aurora in lane. Like imagine if he played Orianna this game, right? And maybe it's Phyllis, but imagine if he played Orianna, like Aurora could not play like this at all, right? So yeah, I don't actually get it, but maybe he knows something I don't.
I just it doesn't really look like he's just contesting lane.
But you see what I mean, right? He's 200 HP in a matchup he chose, right?
Yeah.
I feel like an Aurora is not like, she's only like a strong laner into melees and like some champions, right?
Yeah.
But like I see as one of those where she's kind of strong into, and he just gives so much space in lane. Your E also doesn't, like some champions, you can kind of use your E in trading. Like you can't do that into Aurora as well, right? So, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense why he would pick it, I think.
I like what this Aurora does as well. Gets a big CS lead. So this was honestly like really good for Nord here. And you also see that because Lee Sin is forced to drive by mid, he fucks his own jungle, right? He's slow on tempo. And I think this is the situation we want to create in the official, where we got generic lanes, Baus dies on top, you are winning on mid with Prio, And therefore, jungle has to clean up messes. And that's when we're going to be a really good spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they pick, if he chooses a matchup like this, right? I mean, I don't really understand why. I guess if he does that, then it looks free, right? But I don't know why he would that exactly. I guess he has a good trade, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a good matchup.
No.
It looks also painful for him.
Yep. Okay, let's take a look at a few other games that he's playing. What does he play here? Way Zareth. That's kind of it's kind of interesting if he plays offensive defense here. Doesn't look like it. Not bad.
Not doing too shabby, I guess.
Looks like this guy is maybe not that comfortable in Zareth.
No, I mean, I don't remember ever seeing like a South player in like the last year or two. I just don't think this guy, like, South's not that insane, and then this guy's also kind of clueless on it. I think his first time in the matchup just because
Probably, yeah.
Just because he thinks it's good into way red, you can kind of like match our range. But yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a look how his window creation or denying is. If he's doing it.
And then the Ori is kind of, I don't know why the Ori has a Q. Like way too.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
in
but
Afghanistan here.
who is the North Midlaner? It's Norway, right? Like why like
Oh, that's possible, yeah.
is it not? I think it is. Like why I don't know why he's playing like this. It's like yeah. It seems kind of weird.
Nord Esports.
So that kind of grief just having like the ball
Yeah,
way
no
to
way.
the side in the lane where like he can never do anything.
Yeah.
Like it's not like even like Auric with just any sort of prior this game. Like I don't know why he's allowed to last at anything because he's playing full scaling. Like he's playing Airy with Gathering Storm.
Yeah.
And the person's like a Legend Haze. Like I don't know why he can even step up. You know.
He's completely in
Like
Antarctica here.
he's
Holy
just farming,
moly.
and then he has like 5 seconds to react to the Auric, I guess. Yeah, I mean this is. Okay, yeah, okay. I don't know. I guess Norway is not like the greatest like laner, or at least not on Ori. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's got his
I mean,
strengths.
yeah, true. I mean, assuming I can punish a little harder than Norway, then I mean, stuff like this could be fine, right? Even then, he kind of gets poked out. I mean,
This is an interesting game because this is where Trundle goes like 14-0.
oh, is that one where
It's this one.
was like
And they still
so
lose.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, Aaron actually like it's kind of interesting, right? Because they just have like Crown and Reckless, like doing work in bot, and then it's just a bows like ending in top. But like I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how they're winning games sometimes. It looks so weird. But yeah, I mean, I think because like Nemesis will like refuse to go like flat HP, he will refuse to go like resolve, right?
Yeah.
So I think in a matchup like this, if you're like really good at punishing him, I think
Yeah.
it can be really tough for him to get out of lane. Like I think he, I mean, gets basically like a jail out of free cut this lane here because Norway didn't really decide to push him, and also like Norway's jungler hasn't been mid. I feel like he could have.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like Santorin's fault or if that's just Norway not setting it up properly. But I mean, I feel like if you poke them out earlier, right, you can force like a base. You can even force a dive. You have like Maokai, right? So, I mean, something to look for.
We also see that this wave here is really awkward. Like this is really bad wave state. This one.
Yeah.
So he should have pushed that a little bit harder or a little bit slower, but I'm not really sure if he could have pushed it slower. Because it's probably that he wasn't. Oh, is this? Oh yeah, this is still on the Noxus patch. Probably wasn't used to the minion damage. Because if you can crash this wave, you can get the next wave out a little bit more towards neutral. You play in these cycles of 2. You once again get yourself these lots of trading windows while also being safe to enemy jungle.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Wait,
main goal that we're going to be trying for.
What's the Noxus patch? What do you mean?
Oh, that's the patch we're on right now.
Yeah, yeah, season 2, yeah.
Yeah. What's the score here?
Not sure, but I mean, I think actually he would be very vulnerable. Actually, like this team would be very vulnerable because grubs are very important, right? So, and you're not necessarily gonna have, like, I think you're gonna have prio against bows, right? And then also like the feats of strength. I think it's very likely you're gonna get first blood, like an enemy has bows on that team, right?
Mm.
On
He's a good
serving.
1v1 laner though. Like Bowser is strong in the 1v1. Very, very strong.
He's a very interesting player because he's like, I don't know, he's like a very. This is when I on some champions, right? He just looks really good, and then everything he does makes a lot of sense. And then when I watch like some other champions, he just like looks like a gold player, you know? It's like that, you know. I don't know if he's like a genius or if he's like trolling. You know?
Stuff like that usually goes hand in hand.
I watched him play like AP Aurelia. Like you don't have to be like an amazing Aurelia player, but he looked like so like I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. That looked very disturbing.
I think that was trolling. I think the API Relia arc was kind of trolling.
No, but he played it recently, and I think you can make it work. But he was so like,
oh really?
He has no clue how to play Aurelia. I think, like, it was actually disturbing. Like, to watch. Again, this like I don't know how he's playing. He's not even playing Scorch. He's playing Gathering, which is good, right? But how is he getting like traced like this onto an Ahri that has, I would assume, like laning runes?
Who's
I would
this
assume
guy?
Ahri has Scorch, Electrocute. Or is it a different team this time around?
This is Team Phantasma. No, this is not Nord anymore. It's Team Phantasma. I think this is Tsiprakos or something like that.
What's it called? Oh, it's like a Greek team, right?
Yeah. I don't know who the mid laner is.
They have Pepe. You can check on LoL Pros. It just updated like teams. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if LoL Pros allows me to get in at the moment.
Oh yeah, it was lagging for me as well. I can. Maybe I can.
Gotta quit this one.
Oh, but I mean, you can check whenever he presses tab, unless it's like a generic account.
Yeah, it's generic.
I mean, then it's kind of hard to know, I guess.
Yeah.
How do they get generic accounts in Greek League? How does that even work? I guess.
Oh no, it's Pepe. It's Pepe. It's actually Pepe. It's not generic. It's Pepe.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I don't really know. I haven't really seen Pepe. Let's take a look at this lane.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to kind of careful about like TPing back because it takes 8 seconds, right? And you do it to the middle of the lane. Like I've tried TPing back, right? And then, you know, you just see enemy jungler, you just see him like coming slowly, but you just know inevitably you're just gonna die because it's like 8 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. But you also wanted me to like bring like one game from like that scrim.
Yeah.
Look at that, or do we just?
Which one? Which one do you got? What champ is it?
I got the Rise.
Your Rise?
I think I played pretty decent that game. Yeah, I think I played pretty decent that game, honestly.
Okay, so I also think the lane is not the biggest issue. I think we can get very specific in lane, but we got a lot of that done in previous sessions. So let's do some mid game stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good one to look at for the Rise. So let's send the Rise vote. Let's do some mid game stuff. And yeah, we'll go from there. So which verse? Hush, PP Bat.
I mean, I think Hush like a coach, but he's like lending the account to the player.
Okay. Let's see where the mid game really starts here. Do some rotations, we reset. Let's break it down. All right, so let's see. Okay, it's fine. We'll work with this. What's going on? What do you see here?
I mean, basically, my top is like a bit ahead, my jungle is a bit ahead. Bot lane is kind of even, maybe even favored towards enemy bot. I mean, both the enemy like side laners are kind of weak. Maybe Atrix is a bit weaker, but my top laner has full armor, so I think it'd be preferable if my top laner was matching like Atrix, and then I could just match Aurora, right?
Okay.
In the side lane.
Okay.
But I mean, honestly, I don't think it matters too much. I think I just want to play like strong side. Because I'm by far like the strongest member alongside with my jungler. So I think here we should just try to like open through sides to try and get bot turret maybe.
I like it. So we see Drake's coming up in 103. We see Herald's coming up in 232. Oh, this is old. This is not new patch.
It is.
Oh.
You can see that on TP.
Oh, but it's not. This was on TR99.
Yeah. TR99.
So the overlay is not fully rendered yet. Okay. Yeah, very clear, right? We'll just open up the bot. At least we want to play bot side. Wukong's clearing to bot side. We can send Cassandra top, weak side. We're going to be playing strong side where the next objective is going to be spawning. We also got 6 grips, which means we got a lot of options to go through. What we want to do, right, is we really want to try to get bot side control. So with currently the bot lane wave being pushed up so far, I don't necessarily think you have to open up into bot lane just yet. And I love the fact that you take this take these camps first here.
Yeah.
Really good.
We're not really ready to open up on the map, so just kind of chilling a bit until like my jungler is cleared and we're ready to play, right?
Yep. So we gotta always ask ourselves the question if our AD carry can get mid prio on its own. Otherwise, we gotta support him. I think this mid lane wave right here is gonna be super, super important. So after pushing out bot lane, we really gotta ask ourselves the question if we can get mid prio here. It looks like the enemies are giving it, so that's fine. So after getting mid prio, this is where we are now going to be able to have Corki plus Wukong move into the river. So we see that we get a little bit onto this awkward position right here, right?
Yeah.
This is a perfect situation where after you clear the wave, you get the fuck out and you go to mid. Because what happened is on this previous wave, Ezreal got mid prio. So that means that he now has first move together with the rest of his team, while Corki still needs to respond to the wave. So we need to play one wave later. And what we do really well is that we slow push this first wave so this next wave comes in a little bit closer. Means we can safely secure this next wave. Then go open up to mid because we want to be getting the control first. Allow our team to respond and actually be first to the play. Yeah, so I think a little bit inefficiency with staying bot here. If we instantly move mid, our movement's going to be a lot stronger. We can use this mid prio from Corki to then take vision deep in the enemy bot side. Even zone them potentially off from the tier 1, especially with winter move. So definitely a little bit of an optimization when it comes to efficiency.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. I should have just pushed the wave and then rotated mid.
Correct. This bot lane wave is also like not important because Aatrox cannot push it. This bot lane wave. If we get mid lane prio on this wave and we're synced up with Ryze R, what happens is that if Aatrox pushes this, he's really vulnerable to a Ryze engage with R. So it's not like you're losing minions like this. It's just like you're just translating your pressure to a different part.
Apparently he got it anyway, so I don't know what maybe would have been easier with my hover.
So I think versus a better team, we'll get punished for this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we will. Okay? Interesting Nunu pick.
Yeah, I think I could have just run into Aatrox instead of around, but it doesn't matter a whole lot.
Right, because this is the issue here again, right? Because what happens is that we don't force the enemies to respond and we're making a play. So Ezreal actually moves, which is a really smart move by Ezreal. If this team is slightly better, or you guys are not as far ahead, this actually becomes a little bit of a problematic situation.
Yeah.
Okay? We managed to make it work. Nice. I love that you stand your ground. Beautiful. We reset. We get the dragon. We press tab. Interesting build. Why do we go the Blackfire?
Are you asking like instead of Loons, instead of Sword of Ages?
Yeah. What made you think Blackfire was the play?
I mean, basically, I'm skipping Rod of Ages. I feel like it's a bit of a bait item unless you're into like a lot of success and stuff like that. So I just go Seraph, and you had a much like better spike. So I think it's just generally like unless you're playing with assassins, it's much better to just go like double lost chapter item, and
Okay.
then you can kind of go after Seraph. You can kind of go Black Fight Torch or Ludens. Ludens a bit better for burst, but if they have like a lot of melees, which I think like all of their champions are either like a melee or mid range, right? So in that case, I think you can hit a lot of people with like your E. So I think
Okay.
in that case, like Blackfire is better, right? Because you're applying the passive to more, so you get more AP and stuff like that, right?
Very interesting. It's hard for me to judge because I've never tried it myself. But
You should try it. I think it's very, very strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really hard for me to judge, but it's hard for me to see at the moment as well. So if you're confident on it, do it. Personally, I would say, hey, look, you're solo AP. I reckon for free to just go, especially because the enemies are squishy, right? For free to just go either pen in Storm Surge or something like that, or I think Ludens is also completely fine if you want to go double mana.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue Ludens anyway. I don't think pen is. I mean, you kind of really want this like a cooldown.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, I guess you could go pen this game. I just like the cooldown, right? Because it makes like you have the damage anyway, so you just kind of get a lot of push. You have a lot of mana, which is good with Rise.
Yeah.
You get really easy like resource acquisition because you get a lot of AP and a lot of mana and a lot of haste. So you just kind of one-shot waves, you one-shot camps.
Okay.
And then you also get like a bigger shield because Seraph's Embrace scales on 8 like mana, so you get a huge shield, which is really good. So that's like my main reasoning for building second Lost Chapter item.
That's fine, man.
Yeah.
So what's next here?
I mean, Aurora is dead. Herald is up. I think is Buttered. I think Buttered is still up. I mean, I think my team can open towards top side. I mean, I don't think enemies are gonna contest it, but I think here I just wanna like run bot. No one can really deal with me. And then if enemies hard contest like the Herald, that's TP to it. But otherwise, I can just kind of like get bot suit, get bot waves. I can even see if any of enemy like bot camps up, and I can just insta take them. I think that's at least like what I'm thinking here.
And why bot over Herald? Because in a different world, like someone else would maybe say, hey, why not just play Herald here?
I mean, I think my team, I don't think they need like my presence stats to secure it, right? And I have TP, so worst case, I can always TP, right? But I think I would just be like wasting time that I could spend like being elsewhere on the map. Right? I don't think my presence is needed for Herald. I think if you're looking for many POV, like what is the chance they're gonna like contest Herald here? I think it's like a slim to none.
Okay, I like it. I really, really like your plan. So how are we gonna precisely execute that? So I love that you're opening up to mid, right? Because we gotta get Prio onto the next mid lane wave. We already got it on this one. We also want to get it on the next one because that way we prevent the enemies from taking any type of control back because they're always responding to our waves. And since Cork is resetting, he won't do it. So we gotta do it. I think instead of your cloth armor, I would also like you to buy a control ward, and I want you to place that around mid lane because mid lane control in this point in the game is just going to be the most important thing to keep your lead and keep your control of the game. So what I would really like to see is get yourself a control ward, move mid, shove the next mid lane wave with the boys, and ask your Nautilus to actually supply you some vision in two crucial spots, so you actually can safely push up to bot while your team keeps up the mid prio and actually starts up the Herald. After making sure that this mid lane wave is shoved, move up in here, go to bot, then keep pressuring bot, and then you're always safe with it with your R, and you can always join in with TP.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that control isn't necessary here because I'm a bit like I don't mind bank controls, but I really try to avoid them unless I have a really like clear idea of how I want to use them, right? And here I have like 2
Okay.
yellow trinkets, so
Yeah.
in my mind I'm kind of thinking like, do I actually need to invest into control to get the information I need to like play how I want to play, right?
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's a good way
And I think,
to view it, because
yeah,
I actually view it the other way around. Control wards are not necessarily used in the mid game for you to use it in your side lane. It's actually to deny enemy control mid. So if you have a control ward in this push, you got a control ward right here, you got a control ward right there. Suddenly it's impossible for the enemies to get any type of control of mid lane wave, and you'll always be able to get the push.
yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking like, what could they? Let's say I don't put the control. Like, I'm just kind of thinking what kind of thing they could do to get back, right? Because they have a Nunu, which I can kind of like spot out with my like wards, right? And then, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking what kind of like, because can they really get control here?
Well,
That's what
it's
because you might
more
be
or
right.
less.
I'm just not. Yeah.
It's not about spotting Nunu or anything like that, because Naughty will supply the deep vision, right? That's his job. The thing that we can do is we can get control mid. And what you really have to understand is the deeper and the further you can get control on mid, the harder you can make it for the enemies to make proactive plays. Because if they're constantly responding towards this mid lane wave as deep as possible, that means that you get so much access towards the side lane. Because what happens is then your team is all the way up right here, and the enemies are right there. It means that they always have first move towards sides. So the way that we want to start progressing the game is by securing this vision control around mid, slowly building up the depth of that vision, and therefore what's going to happen is that we're going to take mid lane wave deeper. We're going to force the enemies to respond deeper, and that's going to make it easier for us, for our team, to save us and support us, making these plays in the side lane. And also, what's going to happen is that it's going to make it impossible for the enemies to get these proactive windows unless they heavily sack something and they got to like start overloading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would also want you to nuke this mid lane wave and prevent Ezreal from taking it. Like the fact that Corki's lane is onto him, just allow him to take this red buff, you hard nuke this mid lane wave, then you go bolt. Because you never want to give this guy an inkling of priority or allowance to get vision control. I also think your job is to get sweeper and sweep around mid where enemies can potentially have vision.
Yeah, I mean, kinda, but I think considering we're playing Herald and I'm like on my own bot side, don't you think it's like more valuable that I can just set up a bit of vision around myself? I think if I had sweeper here, it would be a lot tougher for me to play side lane on my own. So yeah, I can just kind of set up wards myself.
Well, that really depends on how you view it.
And then the mid lane thing I can kind of see. I don't know if my AD carry will be happy with that, but I mean I kind of see it, right? You don't want to give like push to Ezreal, but I mean, even though he like got to hit the wave first, yeah, I don't know how much it really like changed, right? But maybe.
Well, in this case, not that much, right? Because we're like so far ahead, right? We're astronomically, the game's over.
Yeah.
76,
Yeah.
game's fucking over. But
yeah, I guess in a different game, right? In a different game where like them contesting control would be a bit more realistic. I get your point.
Correct. And you can see, right, the main reason why all of this vision that we're placing right now is also like get removed is because we are not forcing the enemies to respond and then taking control. The PvP, prio, vision, prio, it's not something that we've done properly, which means that we got holes right here, which leaves us vulnerable towards the enemies.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it. Like, look how deep we got mid lane wave pushed in right now. Right now, you can see that even though these guys are playing on the side, they're instantly getting pinstered. Because we know that whatever happens is going to be favorable for us because of this mid lane wave being pushed so deep.
Yeah, enemies overextending here for sure. When
Right.
you don't have mid prio.
And this is the power of mid prio here. It's just instantly like really, really hard for them to play. Yeah. Slightly rush it, but it's okay. So in the ideal world, like we play a little bit slower right here. We actually just play on camps. We play with the wave. We don't necessarily look for dive because we're not really forced to, mainly because of the fact that, look at mid, Cassante's shifting mid. The enemies are forced to respond to that. The enemies are forced to respond to top. The enemies are forced to respond to this wave, so we can play onto the enemy jungle, otherwise they're losing 350 gold in minions everywhere.
Yeah. This definitely ended up not being too great, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So we got the Atakan coming in 130. That's a really important objective. Then we are hardcore griefing, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this was slightly I also ended up just dying to this, I think, because we overextended a bit.
Yeah, this tier 2 is a bit too much. Even though we got 6 grubs, it's a little bit too much. We got no Wukong R, we're not ready to fight.
The thing is, yeah, Atrio's already caught the midway, right? So they can all be fight bot, but I'm not even close to being the midwave, and mid TPing is probably not what we want.
No, definitely. We want to play slower. Like, we're not in any type of danger or risk. We're so far out, we want to keep our lead. So keep playing with control, push the next mid lane wave, force someone to respond, set up deeper parameters, and then slowly chip away at the bot turret, right? We don't have to instantly do it. We can also do it in the wave afterwards, and then we can retreat into Atakan, or we can reset into Atakan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll open up mid.
I don't know if we can play it, actually.
Who's this?
I don't know if we can play it, actually.
Who's this?
I don't know if we can play it, actually.
Who's what?
Who's saying this? Do you have voice on? Sound?
Yeah, oh, yeah, I put it on now. Hear it? Play it for me.
I don't know if we can play it, actually.
I mean, just do some damage. We don't need to.
I don't know. I don't know if we can play it.
Who said what?
This.
Said, there were two things.
I don't know if we can play it, actually.
My carry says, I don't know if we can play this, actually.
Yeah.
And then I think my jungler said, just said
just
it.
do some damage. We don't need to.
Okay, and ACAR is right.
Yeah. I mean, he's right that he doesn't know, I guess. That's true.
But a little bit sure. Okay.
I mean, actually, yeah, maybe just report my jungle.
So we're playing a little bit too fast in this case. We're like playing slightly too fast. If we just force the enemies to respond a little bit earlier, we're going to be playing these guaranteed mana advantages, and we're always going to be in a good position. So we get the Atakan. What happened to your HP bar?
I don't know. Like, this sounds like I don't know what's going on. It's just killing me. Actually, I don't know what's happened. I was so confused.
That's a special move, I think.
Is it when I stand behind it? It just goes like full Garen, like speed to win, like I don't know what's happened to my HP bar. Like, it just took my Archangel for fun. So I had to base. I just came out of base. I had to base.
Okay, so what we got to do right here, right, is we got to recognize that whenever this bot lane is being taken, like, whatever happens, this top lane doesn't really matter that much. Like, of course, we ideally prevent these guys from taking the T2 here, but it's super fucking important that someone's on this mid lane wave, pushing this mid lane wave, because what's going to happen right now is that we once again see that Ezreal is going to get this priority, and look at the dangers we're suddenly in, right? Ezreal gets this prio, Wukong walks away, we got no control, we don't know where Ezreal is going. Is he going top? Is he going bot? We're losing information.
I mean, to be fair though, they're two top Aurora dead, so they can only be like one bot when Ezreal shows mid. So I think like Wukong just ends up catching. It's not like enemies can do a whole lot with it, right? When they're all kind of dead up top. So I think. Yeah. Wait, actually, my jungler just takes his camp.
Yeah, he's just farming the. That's all right.
I thought he was catching in the midway. This guy's just farming. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I think here as well, push top, get the crux, move mid. You crash the wave fully. It's now slow pushing back into you. You got a lot of time. You can just walk into mid, get the mid prio with the boys, get yourself the dragon. And then what you can do afterwards is you can probably fix a bot lane wave if it's slow pushing into you. And then you can do a little bit of a double rotation into top. You can also let Cassante fix up the bot lane wave, which is probably a little bit better since you want to be playing into top afterwards since Atakan's gone. And this is where the turret is going to be. So strong side's going to be top. Okay. So I think we're once again playing too fast here. We're not forcing the enemies to respond enough. You see this bot lane wave? It's void at the moment. So in an ideal world, what we do is we first get this dragon. We can play it a little bit slower. We send someone bot to fix the bot lane wave. Then when someone's responding to bot, we're pushing mid. We do a little bit of a shift so that the enemies are then forced to respond to mid. And that's when we can just slowly choke them out because we prevent them from getting through this point, which means that it's impossible for them to defend this top tier 2. But we're playing a little bit too fast, which means that the enemies are actually getting the opportunity to defend it and save themselves. Really good play.
I mean, do you think like we even need to get Drake this game? I feel like we don't really need to win when we're this far ahead. We can just do it an exit worst case.
Well, the reality is, right, is I think it's just good to take.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually know how many we got at this point, but I mean, if like it's only good to take, I think, if we're getting to soul, and I mean, I would assume we're not getting to soul in this game. I could be wrong. Like, or at least that it's not like a soul game.
You guys just overpower them and you win.
Yeah.
At this point, game's pretty over.
Yeah, got a bit like an enemy is just like caught me very well, right? That corner choke or whatever you call it.
Okay. So let's take a look at your Aurora game and let's break a few things down.
Yeah, I can send it. Give me a sec.
All good. And main thing what we see in this one, right, is that I think that we're sometimes playing a little bit too fast with a little bit too little setup, which like leaves just risk open. And the way that we prevent that from happening is by doing a little bit of cleaner shift towards mid lane, playing through the mid lane prior to grouping up with jungle and sub, securing the parameter, sometimes even deeper, and it also forces the enemies to constantly respond. And when they're responding, that's when we play.
Yeah.
Okay. So, interesting matchup. What was your hypothesis?
Yeah, I mean, this matchup is definitely not great. I think Yasuo's is actually one of Aurora's like main counters in mid lane. I think it's one of her like worst matchups into a melee because he can just kind of jump on her. He has like so much sustain that you can't really bully him out. I mean, he can really just easily dodge all your abilities, right?
Okay. So one of the good things about this matchup is that Aurora actually also has a pretty easy time of playing into Yasuo in the lane, mainly because of how the Q interacts with Yasuo dashes. Yasuo is actually stationary while he's dashing, and in the early game he's got a pretty long cooldown on his E compared to when he levels it up. And what you see is that you can get guaranteed Q procs onto him. And you're actually really happy standing your ground as Aurora into Yasuo because of your passive regeneration in your kit. So what happens if he dashes onto you right here, and what happens is that you hit him in this dash, because if he dashes onto you, this is where you want to hit him with the Q. He's also on top of you, and instead of walking backwards, you can actually walk into him, try to force extra auto attack traits, and if you can get yourself 4 auto attacks in, aka 2 passive procs, you're actually in a really good spot in the matchup.
Do you think it's worth like trade? I don't think I want to like extend trades with this guy because every every auto attack, like even if I have like some healing, I think his like D shield and like second win will just like be much more valuable than any kind of sustain I have. I don't know if you agree, but
I've tried it. I've tried it multiple times, and let's take a look at if I've got an example.
Full sustain like setup as well.
I have, yeah. I'll show you.
I'd be happy to see it. Got a little shout out to
Please tell me this is the matchup I'm covering.
shout out to the Midlaner Academy, it seems.
Too much interaction. I'm playing versus. Fuck, it's the Yone, not the Yasuo. Let's see if it's.
Yone, I think I agree. I think that matchup was a little.
Nah, I also got one versus Yasuo, but I'm not sure if I use it. Okay, maybe I got some more. Maybe I got some more.
But when do you go like Q max and E max? Is Q just into melee and E is into range, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so
And also, like,
you basically go Q max all the time, and the only time you go like you want to put extra points in E is if you want to put 2 points E versus the champs like Syndra, the longer range champs, the Orianna, possibly even Azir, in the sense that you want to play
I have like a
E.
range advantage. Yeah, so you want to play with it. Yeah. Okay. Guess maybe into Cash as well.
Into what?
Into Cassiopeia as well, or no?
Yeah, it could probably be good in Cassio. You can do that.
How's that matchup? Is it good or?
Well, pretty whatever, actually. Man, do I not have it? Let me do some research. I got that game. I thought I used it in the guide. Maybe I don't. Let me do some digging. Okay. So let's take a look. I got it right here. I said, look at this guy's setup. This is what he's running. I think the guy you played on ran Fleet, right?
Yeah, he ran Fleet. This guy won't grasp me.
Okay.
By the way, into like stuff like into champions that have like sustained setup.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good to go like, I don't know what you went this game, but I'm assuming like Soul 3 Scorch? Oh no, it's also Scorch, like Manifold Scorch?
This was at the beginning of my Aurora journey. I don't really think it matters. I think into you can really go both.
I'll just assume like into champions that have like sustain runes,
Yeah.
like cut down is better because they're constantly like ticking, right? You're gonna get like more value out of them, you know, because in theory they have more HP because of the high region, right? Like every health point is like more versus like a mage where like Scorch is like better because of the fact that the HP isn't like inflated, right? So the Scorch like base damage is like better, but then versus cut down you're gonna get like more value out of it. I think it makes sense, right? What I'm trying to say, you get it.
Yeah, although Scorch does allow you to rack up a little bit more damage in the early game, I think, compared to cut down. Yeah. I think it's a bit better.
It's definitely better in early game. I was just kind of thinking that if you were to say that in theory they were like equally strong, right?
Yeah.
Then cut down would make more sense versus like champions that have a lot of sustain, and then Scorch would be better versus champions that don't.
Yeah. So you see that I just can stand my ground here. And I walk into him instead of walking away. And the more passive trades you get, he's forced to E on top of me, and I just walk into him. Kind of just kills him.
One again?
So what you do is you Q whenever he E's into you onto the cast.
Yeah.
And ideally you already get an auto attack on top of him before that. So you proc the shield, and then he's Eing on top of you. That's where you get your Q off.
I see you. I guess you're dragging the wave, and he's also like kind of like dragging the wave a bit towards your side. Yeah. I mean, I see your point. But I can't really tell if this guy's like griefing it, or if this is just like how you play it.
I'm pretty confident you can stand your ground. Unless they run lethal tempo, that's when you gotta be very careful. Because that's when they beat you in the extended all-in.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway. Okay, waves pushing into us. Taking a lot of damage here. So what's the underlying issue?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not really getting Qs onto him when he's shoving onto me, right? So
Yeah, and I think we're also like it's the waves getting shoved too hard into you. So he gets this level 2 without you being able to hit back, and this Q really put the nail on the head because you not having Q right here makes it super easy for him to take it straight.
yeah.
So the E does go through wind wall. And what the goal is to try to figure out what this guy's wind wall pattern is.
Yeah.
And we gotta constantly try to get these passives, because that's where the health regeneration comes from.
Yeah.
So now he's got no wind wall. Okay, so I wouldn't really use the E like this. The E is a very long cooldown. So for Victor to stand your ground with these auto attacks, just hit him with the auto attacks, and only E when he's dashing onto you or whenever it's at the end of the trade. But you're really confident just standing around and just proccing these passive procs.
Yeah, here I could have just queued him, then auto attack Q, right? And then it would proc the passive.
Yep. Okay. I think that's the main thing about this lane, really.
Yeah.
I respect it. That's right.
I was hoping I had like a sudden impact pop.
Okay. If you're behind lane, you get a little bit tricky. Classic Yasuo int. They always int without vision. No way he doesn't die. Okay, he does. Very good. Push mid. Get the grubs. So we kind of want to... This is the point where Aurora becomes really weak in the lane, actually. Because level 6, level 7 is like... Yes, we can start one-shotting the waves, but their isolated dueling power is actually not that strong. So this is the point where you want to just keep pushing the waves, not really interact with the enemy laner, and start to play around your R cooldown with your jungle. So feel free to just let him push you in. We're just going to be collecting the waves. Since we got Lost Chapter, we're going to be completely fine nuking the minion waves. Quickly grab some water here. So I'm not sure if you guys will be able to kill him. I'm not the biggest fan of this R usage right here. This is... I think the first one was fine.
I'm very bad at like using like my ult.
Okay.
In general, yeah. Because in my like, I think I tend to use it like as like a cage, but I don't really think that's how you should use it that much.
Well,
necessarily.
The reality is that like the R is just your... That's Aurora. Aurora is the R, basically, at the moment. Yeah. And the way that the R works is you got R, great, you can do stuff. You got no R, well, suddenly your champion just becomes a lot worse. So if you can get your R up and you can time it with this VI-R, suddenly you guys are a 2v2 skirmishing machine. And what that allows us to do is we can then translate that into either bot lane dives, or we can translate that into a neutral objective. That's a lot more valuable because this kill, it doesn't really change anything for us. If we can get this kill onto Yasuo, is that going to win us the lane? It's not, because we're now in a power trough while he is doing Yasuo things. So we won't. It's a very strong laner. So if this kill would change the outcome of your lane, if this would like change the trajectory of the lane, great, go for it. But I think having the cooldown on right now while Vi is getting her Arbok up.
Now I just get like I just misalign it and put like on it. I don't know. I guess I'm putting like a timer that we can play on like a 2-minute cooldown, right?
Yeah, it's quite hard. Okay, so what I would do is if I'm Aurora right here, we take ourselves a beautiful little reset and we're gonna try to scrimmage around these grips. We got Vi Aurelia strong. We can ask Naughty to move up, ping the grips right here. This is exactly what Aurora likes to do. Get these fights around these neutral objectives and just nuke the enemies. Because in these type of 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s, especially this part in the game, that's where you can just have so much fucking value.
Yeah. By the way, this like when is it you would go like Malignance versus like Ludens?
Oh, yeah.
This game I was thinking like Malignance is good because obviously they don't buy a whole lot of MR, so the pin under them is good, and then also like Lore's ult cooldown is good with like Y, so we can like combo a lot. Was what I was thinking at least, but I don't actually know.
Okay. Okay, so Malignance versus Ludens really depends on where do you want your damage to come from. Do you want your damage to come from combos with QE? Or do you want your damage to come from R usage, team-oriented fights? So in this situation, we see that the enemies are full squishy. We're full, I don't know if they got tank fucking Jace, but whatever is that even. We're solo AP. So there's basically, we can do anything in this case. So we got to ask ourselves a question. How does our team comp want us to play? And what's good versus the enemy team composition? Do we need Ludens to win the 1v1? Because Ludens definitely increases your Q damage output, because if you get your Ludens proc on your first Q, you make the enemies lower, and it makes it the second Q deal a lot more damage in return.
I mean,
that's the mindset, basically.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, to be honest, I don't think I win this Yasuo 1v1 either way. I need someone else to be there to kill him.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Fantastic. So I think Malignance is great here, actually. I would go Malignance in this game, purely because of that reason. If the enemies rock Ahri or something like that right now, which is also a medium range champ, which can get a little bit like more chaotic in the side lane potentially, but also in the later part of this lane, prefer to rock Ludens in this game, because you can play like Assassin, Ludens, Shadow Flame. You can do a lot of damage. But in this case, I think Malignance, Shadow Flame is great. I think Malignant Storm Surge is great as well.
Yeah.
This is also the time where I would go Sweeper. Right here.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that, but then I was trying to like test out, like, have you seen the new like domination runes?
Oh, yeah.
I took one where when you ward enemy jungle, it gets like an extra HP and like a longer cooldown. So I was thinking about like swapping to Sweeper a lot, but then I was like, then my rune is just useless, you know?
Okay.
So maybe I shouldn't have gone this one, or maybe I should have just gone like the eliminating one. I was just thinking, because I usually do a lot of like wards and enemy raptors.
Yeah.
This game when they have like Karthus, right?
Yeah.
I had perma like vision on the raptors, but I don't know if it's like worth it. So because I kind of just not swapping to Sweeper then, right? I don't know if that's worth.
It's a tough one to say, because I think that Sweeper once again is super important for you to eventually in the mid game play around these mid lane waves, because the way Aurora like is as a champion
like from Fog of War.
Exactly, she's the mid lane, the mid wave murderer, right? You play yourself against the immobile AD carry. In this case, the Caitlyn is a very minimal dash, very slow dash. You just jump from Fog on top of them. You are on top of them. They just die, especially with the rest of multi-threat that you have on your team. So denying vision is more important for you than creating vision, because you also got yourself a lot of self peel in your kit. So I would just go the one with haste, that takedowns grant haste. I would go that one. So it kind of sucks that Aurelia dies. And that means that we're not really able to play the Grubbies. That's fine. In that case, let's dive bot. Yep, beautiful. We just dive bot. Fantastic. That was pretty good R usage, dude. Well done. Well done. Really good bot lane dive. Very good. Okay. So we're not really planning to interact with this Yasuo. Just sit on a tower, get your creeps, give him the prio, that's fine. Yep, just let him... Well, I would just fork, because we don't want him to slow push this. We want this guy to hard push us in here.
100% that I'm not there, so he has to push, right?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep, because that way we can reset instantly after sync up tempo with these two guys. And we can then play on the next mid lane wave after the reset with these two guys. Or we can even open up top, take over Aurelia, depending on where we want to be playing. But let's first get that get this wave out into a reset. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Dragons coming up. Grips are all taken, 3-on-3. We got 1 Drake. We got the Feats of Strength. Vi's are coming up, your R's coming up, this guy's R's coming up. So we're strong real soon. We all got flashes almost as well. So in this case, what do you think?
I mean, here, Aurelia's top, my bot lane is swap mid. We are almost getting like our ultimates up and like bot is pushed out. So here I think we should like look to do a play on mid and just overload on mid. What I'm thinking at least with the ultimates.
Okay, I like it. Do we win 1v1 with Yasuo?
Probably not.
Hell no, this guy claps the shit out of us. We're gonna
Even
get...
though he doesn't even have Borg yet, I think he just like cooks us anyway.
He completely cooks us. Absolutely. So, yeah, we see that bot lane wave is getting pushed in right here. It means we got a little bit of time to still go through mid, secure some vision. We recognize that Dragon's going to be the next play. I would have loved for us to also once again have a control ward right here. So we can open up through mid right now, place more, like deny more vision from the enemies. Because the way that we mitigate the fact that Yasuo beats us in the 1v1 is by blocking out all enemy vision in this corridor. Because if we get mid lane prio and enemies have no vision right here and they do not spot us, what happens is that Yasuo can never contest us in the 1v1 because he always risks getting ganked. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the main reason why like most players will run sweeper also, and you see it also in the pros. They all run sweeper because they block out vision.
Yeah. I mean, arguably I could have just swapped the sweeper, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like I'm always trying to like find a reason to not buy controls. I'm gonna be honest.
You just play some around mid, man.
I don't like them that much. To be honest, I'd rather if I could just go sweep instead. I'd rather just try and do that. I think.
Okay. Sweep is a good start. So this was fantastic. Beautiful hover into mid, into the bot lane wave when you need to catch it. Really good stuff. And you're already ping for help. So what you want to do right now is you want to wait for you guys to cover. Fars is pushing in mid. That means that this wave is yours now. So this is great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, this is good. You got yourself cover. Whoa. Okay. So this is very criminal, actually. Very criminal. So walk me through the thought process here.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking I wanted to bait like Yasuo in, right? But back now, and then we were going on Yasuo, trying to make a pick on him, and then I don't really get my Q off, I get my E, but then we don't kill him. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So what I'm really looking to do with this R is I'm not really looking to kill this guy in the side, because once again, what does that accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, here we don't kill him, but we get the turret anyway because we push him off. So, I mean, here I guess I should have just held on to it so that, like, when we play to Drake, like, I still got it, right? To be fair, though, with Ultimate Hunter and, like, Malignance, it doesn't have the longest cooldown, but still, I think it would be good to step up.
Okay, so personally, I would not really go for this play. Personally, I would just get the wave out, move towards mid, and try to put pressure onto these guys, and or play for the dragon that's coming up real soon. Because we currently have no information on the enemy cartas, and I would like not really want to be wasting my cooldowns in this case with a potential fight coming up real soon at the dragon. So personally, I wouldn't really play onto the Yasuo right here, but since you get the tier 2 turret, hey, great stuff. It actually worked out really, really well. Okay.
I didn't hit anything in this fight.
It's fine. We got the Drake. Gotta answer to bot lane wave here. If we don't want to answer bot lane wave, we can also stay and take another mid wave. Okay, it's fine. We take top turret, we lose bot turret. We come off from a reset, and we gotta now recognize where we want to be playing. Aurora is going bot. It's fine. We'll play mid into top then. Next objective is going to be the Herald up there, so that's great.
Yeah.
Fai's got R, you got R, so this is really, really good. So currently we don't want to answer top lane wave. It's not under the turret yet. It's slow pushing into us. We're completely happy with the current top lane wave state because this next minion wave is going to be denied from the enemy team. We're not in a hurry, and since the play is now happening, that means that right now we want to be putting ourselves in a position where we actually keep this control. We only want to go to top whenever we actually are losing, like bleeding more creeps than the enemies.
Yeah.
So slightly out of position here. Not really wow. So what was your thought process? You tried to R here, right?
I thought I actually clicked that and then my ult like went down. I don't actually know what happened.
Okay, that's a very important concept. Because what happens is that your R can jump over walls, right? But it can only jump small walls. You jumped too big of a wall right here. And what happens is then you still jump, but your R actually gets placed in this direction. Because you can only jump this small wall.
I mean, I guess yeah, I should have just like W beforehand and then ulted. I think is better.
Correct. Because
because I noticed like I didn't really understand why my ult was like so bad here, but
yeah. It's because of the bigger wall. You jump over too big of a wall, and that's why the R doesn't work out the way you want.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, though, like what happens is that we prevent Jace from even getting in right here. And the way we do that is by just standing next to the Nautilus. This guy hooks him. We chunk him with a Q into E. What happens is he loses 1k of his HP bar.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this fight was really big. Very important fight. And this is really where the make or break deal from Aurora is. Like you win this fight, you're gonna win the game. You lose these type of fights, that's where you're gonna be losing it. It's a little bit of the micro execution and preemptive positioning for these type of situations. These are the situations you live or die for.
Yeah.
As Aurora. Okay. Man, the fact Varus was zoned up all the way. The fact we don't have the area control after getting this mid lane push is very unfortunate. Yeah, I think that's the underlying issue. Okay, game's still not lost. It's tough now, but we can now... we see that both Atakan and Dragon are spawning up at the same time. I like the idea of you trying to let Aurelia match Yasuo.
That's what I'm having at least because like Jace has too much armor. I don't think it's like necessarily good for like Aurelian to Yasuo, but I mean I think it's better because she has like those boots and he doesn't have any armor. And I mean Jace has very little MR, so maybe I can deal with him a bit better.
They might double swap here that they send Jace top now and...
Yeah, I mean I think it's kind of bad for us either way, to be completely honest. Both because she doesn't like Jace has a lot of armor, but like Yasuo's like bad matchup for Aurelia.
Not too bad. You should die. I love how you keep pushing bot here. So this is tricky. I don't think we can fight. I would have loved for you to just keep pushing bot here.
Yeah, maybe I could have gone like for the turret.
Yeah, I think getting turret's tough, but at least denying the enemies like the full waves is good. And then what you can do is you can then just regroup with the rest of the boys afterwards. Because in the current situation, you got no R, and you're pretty bound to your R cooldown as Aurora. Because that's really what makes or breaks your skirmishing. Okay, let's take a look at our positioning here.
I was just dead already.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking we wanted to fight here, but maybe I should have like waited for Aurelia. Like we don't even have ult on Aurelia. I think we're not in a position to fight really, to be honest. I just thought it was like a good angle to ult. I was like really, but yeah, maybe it was a bit too fast, I think.
Spot on. That's exactly it. Yep. And I think whenever we see these,
I also look for a better angle actually. Like if I went like behind that wall, W it over, I could look for a better angle, I guess.
Can walk over here, W over this wall right here, hug the wall, stay in the fork, R over this small wall. That's another way to go about it
as well, right? Like if we get like a Varus ult on top of them, right? And it's my ult is also really good, right?
Yep.
And then like a really ult is coming up soon as well. Like I mean here I just go in, like I get a lot of damage, right? But then I just kind of die because Karthus just one shots me.
Correct.
Along with like I don't even know. I'm getting hit by like Chase Q, Karthus Q, and then this also can't thing.
Yeah.
I'm just dead. Like I don't know.
Main thing to keep in mind is the multi-thread, right? Really focus on the multi-thread. What other threatening parts of does your team provide to you? And try to sync up together with them. You don't have to be the primary engage on Aurora. You can be. You don't have to be. Especially when you got yourself a Vi and Aurelia. If you guys can match your ults like Nauti and Varus, you guys get the sickest wombo combo is what you guys can do. But you got to use the timers of each other at the same time, so that you actually have the multiple threats. And then when you get play against such a squishy composition, it's really hard for them to deal with all of these threatening tools at the same time. Okay, yeah. I think from this point, game is pretty done here.
I think it's slightly cooked.
It is pretty cooked. So I would reckon, like, if we really summarize this session so far, the main thing that I think we can do is I think the idea of blocking out enemy vision on mid and a little bit more efficiency in timers on mid waves and also looking for good positions before these fights. I think these are the key points that we've looked at right here. Any remarks, questions, things you want to run by me still, Harbo?
No, I think it was it. I just got a message that, did you see who like we're facing in like the first game?
Second game is Lost Ratones, right? Or is it the first game? First game is Wednesday.
Our opening game is yeah, we're playing the first game is Lost Ratones.
Yeah, first game Lost Ratones, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm gonna.
You know that already since you talked about that or like with Nemesis. Did
yes.
you know in advance or?
Yeah, we talked about it with stuff. You didn't know?
No.
Oh man.
I knew we were in the same group, but I didn't know we were playing them first.
Yeah, you guys playing them on Wednesday, so it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, man. We're gonna end off right here for today. And what we can do is, if you want, we on the weekend we can, or like early next week before the big day, we can do another session, or we can do a 1v1 session, or we can do do a little bit of refinement on Aurora, or a little bit of refinement on the mid game. That's.
Yeah, I mean.
Is that something you're interested in, or you think it's not necessary?
Yeah, I mean on Aurora and Victor specifically, I think it would be very useful to do like 1v1s in lane, right?
Okay.
I think most of the games I played Aurora, right, has been like into mages, so
yep.
That's why like in this game, I was like maybe tunnel visioning a bit too much and like landing Q, EQ instead of just Q auto tech queuing, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm not really used to playing into melee champions. So I think stuff like that could be like useful, right? Also, like if I didn't know that I could just like win the 1v1, I would never like assume I would win it like 1v1 versus like Yasuo, because in most
Yeah.
champions I play, just kind of back off level 1, right? Because he just beats you with like full sustain setup and
Yeah.
restart.
Yeah, correct. Makes sense. Okay, I'll also send you the slides of the Aurora guide I made, so you can just skim through that and have a general understanding of how you want to play the champ.
Is it behind like a paywall or?
No. I'll just send it to you. I made it myself, so I can just send it to you.
Like in general, is it behind like?
What do you mean?
For like the average viewer, would it be behind like a paywall? Like
it's on the MLA.
Yeah. Okay.
So
is that free for everyone or?
No, it's not free. That's a program. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, generally it's on the MLA. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, man. If you have any other questions, let me know. And